Welcome, welcome. Today, episode 7. Obviously, me and Finn are here, joined by my sister Saskia. Um,
Hello.
you good, Finn?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
of
perfect,
course.
perfect. Today's topic, conspiracy theories, quite a broad one, but we've narrowed it down to some of our, I'd say, favourites or good ones to talk about. Happy for the chat to pitch in, give us some ideas, give us some new ones. We are now also on Spotify. I sorted that out.
Oh,
What?
but
Yep,
what name is it under? Like,
behind closed doors.
I can't find it.
Really, I searched it yesterday. It came up.
For real?
Yeah, I've linked it under all the YouTube videos. I've linked it under everything.
Wait,
So,
wait, 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 wait. Okay. If I type in behind closed doors
yep.
and I look under the title podcasts.
So click behind closed doors.
Oh,
It should be
shit,
there.
all right. It is. No, it's there.
It's the top one, bro.
good Yeah,
Let's
shit,
go,
all
boys.
right.
You like that? You like that?
But it's
But
not there when you're looking on mobile. So,
it should have updated now. It took like a day to update because it was so fresh.
well, Dom. Okay, I'll look because Dom said to me last night he was looking for it, but he couldn't
Yeah.
find it.
But I've also getting it. It's already on Google Podcasts as well and stuff like that. So I'll give all the links for that later. Yeah, awesome. So
Well, it is there. Sick.
beautiful stuff.
Nice.
Young
Sick.
G Sass. Yo, let's go. The bad game of 0161.
Who said
Ah.
that?
The bad game of 0161.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Okay.
So who wants to start? We've got
Hello.
obviously multiple theories we can talk about for different topics. Does anyone feel
I
in?
don't mind.
I reckon we let the guest start.
Yeah? Sass, take it.
Me? Oh God. Right. Okay.
Some confidence.
Right. I am confident. Shush. Right. Mine's more of like a mystery thing, and it has like two theories behind it. So I'm gonna read it as best I can. There are some words I can't pronounce, as you know. Right. So it's called the Orang Medan, and it's a Dutch merchant ship that just suddenly all the passengers just like died. So basically, the Silver Star, among others passing by, picked up several distress messages from the nearby Dutch merchant ship Orang Medan. A radio operator aboard the troubled vessel sent the following message in Morse code: SOS from Orang Medan. We float, all officers, including the captain, dead in chart room and on the bridge. Probably whole of crew dead. And then there was like a confused like dots and dashes of Morse code. And then later, two words came through clearly, and they were "I die." Then, after that chilling message, there was nothing more heard of. When the Silver Star crew eventually located and boarded the apparently undamaged Orang Medan in an attempt at a rescue, the ship was found littered with corpses, including the carcass of a dog, which is kind of weird. Everywhere, with the dead bodies found sprawled on their backs, the frozen and allegedly badly frightened faces of the deceased upturned to the sun above, with mouths gaping open and eyes staring straight ahead, with the corpses resembling horrible caricatures. No survivors were located and no visible signs of injuries on the dead bodies were observed. Just as the ship was to be prepared for a tow by the Silver Star to a nearby port, a fire then suddenly broke out in the ship's number 4 cargo hold, forcing the boarding party to hastily evacuate the doomed Dutch boat, thus preventing any further investigations to be carried out. Soon after, the Orang Medan was witnessed exploding before finally sinking. So that's like the little like general story thing. And
Okay,
then
sorry, just go off. So just in summary, there's a boat on sea, right?
yeah,
With a dog on some reason in
I don't know
1948, right?
I have stuff to say about that anyway.
And it's caught fire. And
No,
everyone's dead on it, and then a
and
boat
their faces are like wide, their mouths are like wide open for some weird reason.
wild dead.
Yeah, like they died like that for some weird.
Okay, yep,
Like, yeah.
yeah.
Can I
Carry on. Yeah, carry on. No worries.
Okay, so there's two theories behind it that, to be fair, they do sound kind of logical, I guess. I don't know, I'm not that smart. But basically, one of them is that the Orang Medan might have been involved in smuggling operations of chemical substances, I don't know how to say these, by the way, such as a combination of potassium cyanide and nitroglycerin, or even wartime stocks of nerve agents. According to these theories, seawater would have entered the ship's hold, reacting with the cargo to release toxic gases, which then caused the crew to succumb to asphyxia. Is that when you can't breathe?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. and or poisoning. Later, the seawater would have reacted with the nitroglycerin, causing a reported fire and explosion. Another one of that is that the ship was transporting nerve gas, which the Japanese military had been storing in China during the war, and which was handed over to the US military at the end of the war. No US ship could transport it, as it would leave a paper trail. It was therefore loaded onto a non-registered ship for transport to the US or an island in the Pacific. And then there's another one which is carbon monoxide poisoning. So that's just from like the boiler, and then the escaping carbon monoxide would have caused the deaths of all aboard, with the fire slowly spreading out of control, leading to the vessel's ultimate destruction.
Okay.
Yeah,
But-
but
Yeah.
do you want to carry on?
No, you carry on. Your story.
But there's like skepticism about it because people don't know if it's actually happened and if it was just a like random story people made up, because Netherlands, which is where the Dutch was from, said that there was no ship called that. And then Silver Star, which was the ship that allegedly found it, did not have a record of any such rescue attempt, which is kind of weird. And then the date, so people were saying it was either in 1947 or 1948, which doesn't make sense. Why are there two different years that it happened in? And yeah, so people just think that it might actually be just completely false and made up.
Okay.
This is a weird one.
This is a weird
Yeah,
one.
I
I'm trying to get my
know.
head around because
It's weird.
there's a ship that might not exist or might
Yeah,
exist
yeah,
from
That's what I mean.
Netherlands. Yep.
yeah,
And so everyone's dead on that ship, correct? With their
Mhm.
mouths wide open for whatever reason
Yeah.
that's significant.
and they're like on their backs, just all on their backs, just dead.
Okay.
That's weird.
And then obviously it comes and gets rescued by a Silver Star ship, right? It was called the Silver
Yeah.
Star. But then
Yeah.
the other ship breaks out into fire, like randomly.
The Medan ship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Medan.
there was a fire in
So
the number
so no one
4
was on that ship
cargo
while they were
hold.
towing it,
Yeah,
and it's just
and
randomly
then
got on
suddenly
fire.
just caught on fire, and then it just exploded, just randomly, while they were like sailing away. And that's why no further investigations would be like carried on.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's a bit weird. But the thing about the Japanese thing, what was that again? Like, I don't understand. Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. I think so. I don't know much about nitroglycerin.
Neither do I.
Obviously it says here that seawater can react to nitroglycerin and causing the fire. I mean that seems plausible if nitroglycerin actually does react like with seawater like that.
Should I look that up?
If you'd like. What are your thoughts on this, Finn?
Bit weird.
It's a bit of an
like,
interesting one, isn't it?
It's the story's interesting as hell, especially the way they die. But it's a bit strange how at the end they're sort of like, oh yeah, it might not happen. Like, surely there'd be some sort of concrete, like there'd be witnesses or at least like witness accounts from a long time ago, but they don't mention anything like that. They don't mention any like people by name from the Silver whatever it is crew, which seems a bit suspicious. You know, usually in this they sort of have it down pat who was who and who was where, and then that's written in. Like in all the other sort of conspiracies, it's fairly concrete, the people involved, and that sort of lends to the authenticity, because then you know they're actually, you know, that actually happened,
Yeah.
at least, or something at least happened because people were involved in an event. But I guess here, if you can't trace anyone like physically, what is there to prove? Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit weird though. But then also like that is, why would it be just made up randomly? I mean, I guess
I don't understand.
it would like work as sort of just a ghost story or whatever, or like a scary story from the ocean, but it
Yeah.
feels like I feel like they wouldn't make it into a conspiracy theory or like something that generates conspiracy theories. If it just wanted to be a ghost story, it'd be far more fantastical maybe. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean what quite I like about this story is that most of the times we hear about ships that are sort of ghost ships are all sort of olden days. This is sort of a more modern one, 1940s. Because obviously ghost ships are like everyone thinks like a pirate ship, you know, like back in the day, pirates
Yeah.
and stuff.
Mhm.
So I think it's quite interesting to have this take on it. But the fact, like it says here at the top, it's either happened, and it's given me 3 different dates.
Yeah, I saw
Which
that
is
as well.
which is a bit bit booky, but it sort of also makes sense because obviously back in the day in like 1940s, how are people communicating across the world? You know, there's no
True.
internet, there's no phones, so the only way people
Well,
get in,
yeah, but there's
there's word
there's
of
still
mouth.
ways of communicating.
Yeah,
Nah, there's more than that. More
there's
than that.
telegrams and stuff and word of mouth, right?
Yeah, but yeah, you can still ring people though.
Well, during the wartime as well. So let's say like
Yeah,
someone's
after
just
Second
chilling in
World War.
USA and I'm in Netherlands. I can't pick up the phone and be like, yo, where you at? Like, so I think it's
Yeah, like
yeah,
yeah, you should be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they could. That was fine. Like telephones are about.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, just obviously not as advanced as we have now, but
no, I
I'd
get you.
imagine. I don't know. Actually, I guess I don't know how long range they were, but yeah.
I think obviously it's an interesting story because it's also back to the fact that there's actually now a game out called Man of Medan on PS4.
Yeah, but that's more
It's based on this story, right?
supernatural. Yeah, but it's more supernatural and it's definitely not like possible for that story to happen for like different reasons.
But then you could argue this isn't possible to happen because there's no proof.
Yeah, true, true. But
So
apparently there's different like newspapers on it. I don't know.
yeah, it says depending on the newspaper, it depends on which year it's given in.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Um,
say.
yeah, it is definitely of interest for one. I mean, also where it says the radio operator gives they obviously get a Morse code message, like you said.
Mhm.
I mean, like Finn said, it could be a ghost story, like a little legend sort of story, like just to tell like we kids and
Yeah.
stuff. It also could be legit, just a bit of an interesting one.
Mm. It's kind of also the fact that they talk about like all the chemicals on board seems sort of
Mhm.
believable. Like as an explanation, like if you think about the sort of because obviously like the way that they describe the bodies is creepy, and you think, oh, why would they be like that? But I guess when you're sort of strangled for air, that's probably like the kind of face that you'd pull. Like you'd probably be on your back, like starved for air. Like it kind of makes sense because you're not gonna like instantly knock out and then fall on your face. You'd probably just sort of slowly,
Yeah, exactly. Like what?
black out
Yeah. So
onto your back, like it says.
I agree, and also the fact that there's actually specific details into the way the bodies are and stuff. I think that's a bit.
Yeah,
I
and
think to
then
me that gives it more legitimacy. Like if someone's actually gone to
yeah,
describe the bodies,
and if they know for a fact that nitroglycerin was on board, like it's
it's
explosive, so that would maybe play a hand in explaining away the fire that starts as soon as they
yep,
start towing it.
yeah,
Like obviously, like weird coincidence. Um, and I don't know why it would start in that specific room rather than something like the engine bay, like perhaps or like the storage unit where they were keeping the nitroglycerin. Like that would make more sense. But I guess there's always gonna be stuff that's left out that you never know, so it could be explained away. I think
yeah,
if it's all real.
literally, yeah. So that's anything else to add?
Um, I mean, I find it a bit weird that there's a dog on board. Why? I don't get that bit. Like, do they have dogs?
I
I don't know, I'm
guess
not good at
I
history.
guess back in
But
the day, like there's no real problem with having a dog on board,
true, I
like a
guess. But just
companion, isn't
one
it?
dog by itself.
It was a captain's companion or something.
True, true,
Mm,
true. Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, I
Especially
think they're just sort of.
if it's not a ship that's like in going to war, what's the issue of having a dog on board?
Yeah, I think probably someone just had a dog and wanted to bring it along. Like
Yeah, literally, yeah, something simple as that. Dogs on
maybe.
ships is chill, yeah, exactly. What
Oh,
knows?
okay, all right.
Obviously, I feel like obviously nowadays there's more sort of restrictions on pets and stuff being on board.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But yeah, back and then. So I think that's an interesting one. I think there's no real like evidence saying like no or yes, so it's a bit well, there's not much you can argue, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
I just think like the actual whole story about it is pretty interesting, cool to think about.
yeah, definitely. It's a pretty spooky one, especially anything involving the sea ends up being pretty spooky because just all the weird stuff that happens out there with no one being able to witness it. Like it's not like it's just in the middle of the street and people have gone by and seen it happening. It's literally just they've appeared and then they've appeared. The rescue ship has appeared and then suddenly they go on board and everyone's dead. Like that's pretty fucking weird. But yeah, you
Yeah,
alright, Spence?
I'm just reading that one. Sorry, yeah. Um,
Oh.
Anything else to add to that?
Nah, pretty interesting one. But
Awesome.
yeah, I've not heard of it before. That was pretty cool.
All right. Next one we want to talk about. We got obviously mine and Finn's.
Yeah. I'll do the moon landing if you fancy, if you're
Want
all
to do it
right,
now?
mate.
Yeah, we're ready for it. Let's
Yeah,
go.
why not?
Listening. Yep. This is a big one, obviously, big topic.
Well, yeah. Well, it's pretty weird because 6% of Americans apparently genuinely believe that it's fake,
Really?
and then another 5% on the fence apparently. So
That's
it's
quite
a
a lot of
pretty big
people.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's just, that's a big, and that's obviously not counting like the rest of the world and
Yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. But so I think the main idea, so a lot of people have just issues with the footage from the moon landing. That seems to be the main issue. So one of the more obscure sort of things, right? So have you ever watched 2001: A Space Odyssey? Either of you?
I've watched clips of it, obviously, but I've never actually sat
No.
through and watched. I believe there's no talking in that film, right? It's just music and space, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no. I think there is.
No, 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 no,
I think
no,
it's a
no.
lot.
For the first
Oh, for
like
the
long
first
bit,
like long
half
one.
an
Yeah,
hour,
yeah,
right?
sure,
Like
sure,
40 minutes something.
sure. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. It's that film, yeah.
But yeah, so it's made in 1968 or released in 1968, and filmed by Stanley Kubrick, kind of a legendary director. But basically, one of the theories is that looking at his film that he's produced in 1968, and then the moon landing happened in 1969, right?
Yep.
So a lot of people looked at his film and just the way that the film was presented, they think that that proves that the technology existed back then to create a believable artificial space set.
Yep.
Like, because obviously if it is impressive, like if you watch the film now, it is really impressive to think that's from the 60s. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Mm.
So a lot of people think that it was perfectly feasible for this to be done in a Hollywood studio, directed by Stanley Kubrick, like just all set up, special effects, that kind of thing. That's one of the really weird ones, because you just think like, man, that's got to be pretty fucking difficult to
Yeah, it
like
makes sense.
fake the space landing at that without any sort of like issues. Pretty impressive.
Mm.
Another one they talked about is the flag. So a lot of people say like, what? So if you look at the footage, you see the flag looks like it's sort of like flapping, right,
Yeah.
in the wind, and everyone's just like, all the people are like, oh my god, why it's obviously fake. Why would the flag be flapping in the wind? It's in space. There's no gravity. Can't be possible.
Yeah.
It's a vacuum. Sorry, it can't be possible. And then in reality, like, so it's pretty quick and easy disprove. It's apparently, so NASA wanted to make sure that, because they didn't want it to sort of just be like a slack, just slack,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, of course.
They wanted to, be actually able to
See
see
the
the
flag,
flag.
yeah.
Yeah, so they put like this horizontal rod through the inside of the flag, and so the astronauts were supposed to extend it when they put the flag down, so it would sort of hold the flag out
Yeah, yeah.
horizontally, be able to see it. And apparently they sort of just had a bit of trouble extending it all the way, and it was pretty much like done halfway, and that's why it looks like not fully like rigid. If you look in the photos, it's kind of just sort of like a little bit crumpled, but it's still, it's standing pretty upright. But yeah, basically that's the reason.
Okay. I can see that, yeah.
So there's like a little
That's like a
rod in
that's
there.
like a long-winded sort of reasoning from NASA, Like,
Do you think? It
I mean,
seems like a fairly like
no,
it
yeah,
makes
of
sense.
course.
Like the reasoning makes sense,
Yep, yep.
and yeah, it just sort of, it seems pretty simple, makes sense.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
There's no reason why they would sort of, but it's not some weird like long. To me, it didn't seem too long-winded, so I was like, okay, fair enough.
Okay, yeah, that's one point.
Another one is that you can't see the stars in the footage, right?
That's a key one, in my opinion.
It's a key one. So all you see is the dark void of space. And again, it's sort of just like a technology debunk. So basically, so all the pictures of the astronauts on the moon are daylight exposures, right? So the surface of the moon is just brightly illuminated by the sun, and everything that you can see is because it's, up close, and the stuff is highly reflective. So, the white spacesuit's highly reflective, and the shuttle highly reflective, obviously.
Yep.
But then the exposure on the camera was too short to capture the spacesuits and the moon's surface whilst also capturing the stars or the light reflected from the stars.
Hmm.
So
I
if you
believe
could,
that one, to be fair.
yeah, like if you've used a camera and you try, so if you go out at night and you try to take a picture of the stars, Spencer, like with your phone
No,
camera,
of course it's.
you're
Well,
gonna struggle.
it's yeah. And obviously now it's easier because you've got like night mode and stuff like that on phones.
Yeah, and then
But
if
yeah, go for it.
but I was just get well, just say like it makes sense. Like you think about the technology at the time,
Yeah.
and obviously it is pretty much just a photography, a fact of photography. The way exposure works, you can't be capturing, all the all the images of or reflections of light that were within a frame at the same time. Like you kind of have to concentrate on different ones. So if you want to be capturing the exposure from an object really far away, like the stars, you have to be sort of set up into. You have to be in a special setting, or you have to be using a special camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously, they're not actually focused on taking pictures of the stars, are they? They're fussed to take pictures of what's going on the moon. So to me, it's again like a pretty short, simple, straightforward. Like makes
Answer.
sense.
Yeah. But, uh, but what doesn't? Oh, if we run out of time, I'll just link you again. But what doesn't make sense, right, for me, is because how can humans get to the moon and be so far advanced in that sector where we didn't have technology that can capture the stars? Like, how come?
We do have technology that can capture the stars.
Well, now we do.
I don't think they were
No, no, no,
worrying
no, no.
about the stars. I think they were more worrying about the moon.
Yeah, Spence, we had the technology to capture the stars. It's just that at that time, there it was just a camera that was just literally just like a video camera, right? It was just one that would function on the moon,
Yeah.
and it wasn't some crazy high exposure, like long exposure camera that would
Mhm.
be able to capture the light from the stars, right? So all they're focused on is capturing on the moon. If they wanted to take a picture of the stars from the moon, they could do it.
Right.
Like it's simple. They just they just get a long exposure camera, they take it to the moon, they take the picture of the stars. But what's the point? All you're getting is a slightly different perspective on the same set of stars that you could see from Earth. The whole point was that they'd take pictures of the moon. It's not that the technology wasn't there, it's just that it didn't have any point. Like people use it as a point to disprove like the validity of the action. Like, did they go to the moon? No, because there are no stars in the photos. But if you think about it logically, it kind of makes sense. Like, why would you bring a long exposure camera? Because generally you can't have you just it's not how exposure works. You can't capture all the light sources,
Okay, I understand that.
especially when they're so far
But the
apart.
fact that so it's 1969, correct? Right?
Yep.
We hadn't even been across our whole world in an airplane or even like we haven't gone and explored everywhere in an aircraft or helicopter on our own planet. And you're saying in 1969 we've gone from our planet to another planet or moon, sorry,
Where
not
have you got
planet.
that? Where have you got that from?
Oh well, you can see. Well, our first flight here, we hadn't gone to the North Pole, like actually got to the North Pole, like via like aircraft until I think it was 19. It was definitely after 1969, it was like 1970 something,
All
like
right,
five,
okay.
6 years
I can tell
after.
you. I have got something to. I can talk about this. So the whole reason this happened, right, is we're in Cold War, right?
Yep.
Right in the middle of a Cold War, USSR and the USA,
Mhm.
massive competition, just a stalemate of developing nuclear weapons, showing military power, making political movements, and then also one of the huge things was the space race, right?
Yeah, of
Because
course.
making such a leap forward in technology, such as being able to reach the moon and get back,
Yeah.
get photos and get videos of the event,
Yep.
is such a huge technological step up that you would just massively show up the other nation, right? So it was a huge thing. Also, backed up by the idea that whichever country got there first wanted control. You can lay claim to this area. USA literally planted a flag. Like you planted a flag on the moon. You're saying, right, this is our area. And also the fact that they wanted to have the capability, the technological capability to reach the moon, so that they could develop military weapons that would, like, honestly, like, they wanted to develop weapons that could sort of like almost like orbital, like, strike satellites. Like, that's the kind of thing
Yeah.
they were looking into, because they just wanted preparation from every angle. So they had the nuclear weapons, they had the navy, they had the army,
hmm
they had the helicopters and the fighter jets, but they wanted to cover every base. And then the space race just became this mad thing that they realized would prove such a technological leap. So I think they just ended up sinking so much money into it.
Like they just did it.
Yeah, like that's well, the biggest reason behind, like, the actual reason behind why people think that the moon landing was faked. Because like, obviously, like, oh yeah, you faked the moon landing to show people you can get on the moon, like, good for you. But the actual reasoning behind it was because during the Cold War and during the space race,
Yep.
like, faking that, or, like, instead of spending millions and billions on developing this technology that allow you to get to the moon, you could produce a believable film showing that you've got to the moon, and basically just screw over the Russian government, right?
Yeah.
So as long as it's not leaked, that's the theory. That's the theory that sort of backs up why the moon landing's faked.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But wasn't there also arguing that Russia did it first, right?
did what first?
Got to the moon.
Well, they didn't land on the moon first.
Because well, obviously no, but if this theory of it being fake, right, is legit, so they didn't actually land in 1969. Didn't Russia go to the moon next after America? And then America did go again later on, like Apollo 15, 14, one of the two.
Um, I keep forgetting Apollo's, because it was Apollo 13 was the one that went wrong, was it?
Apollo 11 was the one that landed first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've read, yeah. Let me just quickly check.
Yeah, the lunar landing was aborted after an oxygen. So Apollo 13 failed.
Here you go. They also returned with more than 842 pounds of moon rocks, which have been shared and
Yeah,
studied by scientists in many
yeah,
countries for decades. All the tests have confirmed that they did indeed come from the moon.
yeah.
And then someone
That's
said, "I
like
disagree."
that's basically like the big like, fuck you to the people who say it's fake. Because, like, what better
That's
thing can you
actual
have
proof,
apart from
yeah.
physical proof? Like, you see in a moon rock, it's not like okay,
Yeah,
like, oh, it's fake. You've just got it from your back garden. Like, no,
yeah,
mate,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
check it out. There's gonna be ways to prove that it's not from this planet. So it's pretty solid. But I'm gonna look at the Apollo missions now, because
But yeah, so for me, like, obviously, my dad was in America. He was born, obviously. He was a child when this happened, so he sat there and watched on TV. He's told me about this. And obviously he believes that it was real because if you're obviously a kid back in the day, you sat down and you're watching TV, obviously black and white, and he sees, oh, USA have landed on the moon. That's big, you know. Um, I think people that are skeptical about it, like for me, I'm just skeptical about it because it's something to talk about. Like unless we have like we have the legitimate evidence, obviously with the rocks that you just said. I'm guessing there's more. But these talking points of like the exposure with the camera and stuff, it's almost like there's loads and loads of excuses that come with this. Whether they're
what do you
valid,
mean?
like so with the camera
And
one,
they're not excuses. They're
they're not.
disproving people who find evidence within, you know, photographs from the event.
Hmm. So obviously I didn't watch the broadcast. I wasn't live back then. But how did they broadcast this? How did they broadcast it to the TV?
Satellites, just the same way
So
that they
so
can
how did
send,
yeah,
like,
but they didn't did they capture the humans on the TV stepping out
yeah,
of the really?
yeah,
That's mad. So,
yeah,
that's mad thing. Did it
yeah.
did it back then, but we can't do it now due to the Van Allen belt radiation. Big
Never heard of that.
The Van Allen belt radiation.
I've literally never heard of that in my life.
Energetic charged particles, most of which originated from solar wind, that are captured and by and held around by planets as magnetic field. Really? How did the Apollo? Here we go. The first question: how did the Apollo get through the Van Allen belt? When it launched through on the path to NASA didn't just hope to the best and what not one astronaut. So they did apparently pass through it. Obviously, that's crazy. But for me, I don't know. With the moon landing, you obviously see there's so much media around it, especially with I think Simpsons did a skit on it as well. There's been other programs where they do skits of like how the moon landing was like filmed in like you said in Hollywood sort of studio, green screen, people dressed in like those astronaut suits, obviously.
So Neil Armstrong took a photo of Buzz Aldrin with a 70mm lunar surface camera, right?
Yep.
And you could see Aldrin's helmet, then the reflection of it as well. And people say, "Oh, you can't see the camera. You can't see the camera that Neil Armstrong is holding." But obviously, like it, that I feel like that's such like a weird thing to pick on. Like, surely that could be quite easily explained. So, like, obviously, he's not going to be able to walk around the moon with just like a normal handheld camera. Like, he's got a proper bulky suit on,
Yeah.
gloves and
Yeah.
everything. So he had like a special suit mounted camera that was just onto his on his suit, and that's why he's in the reflection you can see that his hands are towards his chest because he's trying to operate it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then the last one is the one I already covered, which was the whole Stanley Kubrick thing.
There was also mention about shadows, right? I remember reading
Oh right, okay.
because I obviously
Um,
I've never been to the moon. I don't know
oh
about
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
about
yeah.
moon.
Okay.
So
So people said that there's certain objects, they can see certain objects even though they're in shadow, and the people who obviously like oppose it argue that if the sun were the only source of light, it wouldn't be the case. Like you wouldn't be able to see them. The problem is that because although the sun is the main source of illumination, it's not the only source of illumination. Another source is the lunar ground, which reflects the sun's light, right? So in the Apollo 11 pictures, the sunlight has been scattered or reflected off the ground every which way, and some of it, a small fraction, but enough to be able to see, scatters into the shadows, which again, like another pretty simple explanation of
okay,
the
yeah.
way light works. Like, yeah, I feel like these are all like none of these um debunkings from the moon landing footage are based in science, like, or based in scientific fact or anything like that.
Mhm.
It's sort of just based on like a casual observation, like,
Yeah. So it's
so
just
it's
like
like a bit
from
baseless.
yeah. There's
But
no
personally, yeah, I'm
yeah.
not sure how much I can sort of back the people that say it's fake. Like, so yeah, I'm definitely a believer in it being real.
What about you, Sas? What do you think?
I don't think it's fake because we literally have concrete evidence. So I don't understand. I understand why people could think it's fake. Like I see their reasons, but at the same time, if we have actual evidence that proves it wrong, do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it seems
I
like
get that.
a lot of it is just alluding to it being legit because of obviously the evidence we got rocks. All the theories that were thinking it's not as fake has actually been disproved, whether like scientifically or just like simply just explaining why. Um.
Yeah, exactly. They're not even hard explanations; they're simple explanations. Do you see what
Yeah.
I mean?
So me after going through that, I think I've sort of converted in a way.
Would you?
Because I never really did like fully research on it. I just like did I just saw like the classic memes and stuff on it, um, flagpole wind and stuff like that. But obviously after getting explanations about them, it makes more sense. But I think the biggest thing for me is obviously the rocks. Whoever put that in the chat, thank you.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you'll never know 100%. How come though, because like people are still alive back in the moon landing. They can tell you, and also um
Well,
we
I
have
mean,
those rocks as
that's
well.
not evidence though, because
Because it is word of mouth. Okay, yeah, but we got. Let's go, baby. But we've got those rocks, right? We have evidence that we collected rocks from the moon. How else would we have got them if they're legitly from the moon? How
yeah,
else do we get rocks from the moon? An
I
asteroid?
think that's the same. Man, it's weird because I feel like you could say you'll never know 100% that something's happened for like so many things. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
It's the same. You can say the same for anything. Like it's like it comes back to this whole theory. Like it almost like when we were talking about the belief in paranormal, like not believing it until you see something yourself. Like you see the concrete evidence yourself.
yeah.
As soon as you start to doubt word of mouth or tests that are made by professionals, you start to bring into question anything that has ever taken place. Like it just sort of makes everything if you as soon as you bring in doubt, then there's the doubt just sort of spreads and you end up realizing how much stuff you haven't got concrete evidence for, you sort of just take for granted. So it's
Okay, yeah.
I think it's a strange one.
Have you seen them? Done tests with them? True. I have not seen the rocks. I haven't done tests of them. Um, that's the whole point of these conspiracies. You don't have actual. We like myself. I can't go and be like, yo, to the U.S. government. Let me go see the rocks you got from 1969. You know. You just have to sort of like you said, you just can't 100% believe them. You just have to just go with it because there's no 100% proof for me that I can believe it. What about
Well, there's okay, so they've been dated, right? They were, I imagine it says carbon, it says dated with radiometric dating techniques,
with
and they
locating the
range in.
carbon, right?
No, so radiometric. I don't know if that's carbon dating or not, but it just says they range in age from like 3.16 billion years old to about 4.4 billion years old. And I mean,
Okay.
you know,
Moon made of
moon
cheese.
rock.
I don't think the moon's made of cheese. That's what do you think on this? Just final thoughts.
What, the moon being made of cheese?
No, no, just the moon in general, moon
I was
landing in
gonna
general.
say, yeah, I said what I said. I don't think it's fake. I don't understand. I don't know, because like Finn said, there's so many things that could be fake that we don't know. So there's no point in doubting it when it happened, however many years it happened ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed.
Also, I don't know what the guy was saying in the chat, but Boris didn't go on a ventilator in the end. So that's that spirit conspiracy theory debunked.
I like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a weird. It's I don't know. I feel like the moon landing. It's because it's such like a huge step outside what like it was just such a huge advancement. Like people are obviously going to doubt it. Like so many people are obviously going to say, "How could it be done?"
Yeah,
And
true.
it is an impressive feat of like that will be recorded into the history of mankind for the rest of our legacy.
Mhm.
So putting doubt in that isn't necessarily surprising. Like it's the same that's going to happen. Like if you encounter anything that's irregular or something that's sensational, then obviously you're going to put doubt in it because it's just not normal. So
Yeah.
I understand why people do it. I just don't understand the evidence behind it.
I mean, you're also gonna get people just going against this theory or going with the moon landing is fake theory just to be different. Like they just want to feel a
Yeah,
bit different, like just be a bit
yeah, like
awkward.
fight the power,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that whole and like, all the uh, people who are anti-government would probably be more inclined to back up the theory just because they believe the government are a bunch of scheming bastards, which is pretty much true. But I feel like in terms of the moon landing, it's the evidence to debunk it's pretty baseless.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts on moon landing? Or you happy with that?
I'm personally happy.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Should we go on to my Hitler one, and then we'll do.
For sure, I'm excited for this one.
Okay. I think this one's really interesting. I think I quite like this because there's obviously like I'm not just randomly making up. There's actually evidence and stuff that could lead to it being legit. So obviously
Yeah.
everyone, this one is bollocks. Brilliant. So obviously World War II, Hitler was the Nazi leader. Um, the main story is that he got shot in his house by the Russians, but he killed his dog first. Did he shoot his wife, or did the Russians shoot his wife?
What? No,
Or did he kill him? Did they?
what about the? I thought he was in a bunker. I thought he was in a bunker.
Yeah, which was near his house.
All right. Okay.
Uh, I feel like the Russians found him dead once he knew they were collapsing on him. 100% gonna say Hitler survived and is living in the North Pole or some shit. Hitler freezes. They both killed themselves. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he shot the dog, shot his wife, and shot him.
Did he? I thought cyanide was involved.
Really? I remember learning about a gun.
I don't know. I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm
Okay.
gonna
Well,
read
either
it.
way, that's the whole theory. He's not alive. He didn't survive after that. So then, once World War II ended, he's dead. All right. It's gone. Um. So this theory is interesting. So this theory, um, is that he actually got away from the Russians that were chasing him, and actually escaped to a U-boat, which was the German submarines back in World War Two. And this U-boat left, obviously Germany, and went all the way to Argentina, South America, where where Hitler survived and just died of old age later on. Uh, the reason why this has been talked about is because in Argentina, obviously, there's been pictures of people that look just like Hitler.
That's mad, that isn't it? It's
Yeah.
almost like people could look similar.
No, similar ones. But then the thing that like proper clicked me was actually
Wait.
on the FBI website, the official website. They said it reveals that the U.S. government knew Hitler was alive and well.
Did they though? They
No,
had
no.
the
So
body. They had the body.
no, they did. No. I thought they burnt the body. I thought if they got the Russians did not keep the body. They got rid
Well,
of
they
it
have.
because
They
they
had
got
the teeth. They had the teeth because they did tests on the teeth
yeah
to try and
they
find
didn't
how he killed himself.
they got rid of it because they didn't want neo-Nazis to worship it wherever they buried him or put him. So they just got rid of it completely, like burnt
Surely
it.
you've just disproved your own.
No, that's their. I don't believe that. I'm just talking.
Oh right, but then also, so when are these pictures from, right, in South America? When are they supposed to be taken?
1995.
Right. Okay. So how old was Hitler? When he died, he
Uh,
was
must have been like 80 something, right? 80.
no what 80?
Yeah, he was born in like 19.
No, he's born in 1889.
Oh sheesh, my man's old, bro.
He's 56. Was he
Sheesh.
11? Yeah, 56. He was 56. Right, he wasn't 80. Which means that if he's surviving to what date? Sorry,
1995.
56.
Oh no, 1984. 1984. So it says he would have
Okay,
been
he'd be prop.
95.
Yeah, he would have
95.
been properly old. Okay.
So I'm just gonna read this quick. It says so the world has been repeatedly told for the last 70 years that he died 1945 on April 7th. He killed himself in his bunker, right? His body was allegedly discovered and identified by Soviets, the Russians, and been taken back to Russia, right? That's like the whole theory, yeah? Because obviously they have his teeth, right? That you said,
Okay.
right?
I mean, I'm not. I don't know what they did with his body. I didn't know this, but yeah, I'd imagine they probably wouldn't misplace Hitler's body. He's a
But the reason I
important guy.
think this got released, so the FBI legally have to release their files every 50 years. So any classified files get released
Yeah,
after
yeah,
50 years.
declassified.
They get
Yep, yeah,
declassified, right? So one of these files that got released recently, I think it was 50 years. It was recent. What are they chatting? Spencer, a
yeah.
neo-Nazi? No, I'm not a
No, no, no.
neo-Nazi. Tupac and Cuba. I mean, I think Tupac probably could have got away.
Apart from his body.
Yeah, he linked me there. Yeah, that's the one I've got. So I'm on this. Obviously, I'm on the FBI website, and they've got a. I can put it on the stream, obviously. They've got a. Obviously, the declassified documents. I'm putting them on stream now. With. So the report on Hitler, and it said that he escaped the Andries Mountains. reports to be hiding out in foothills of southern Andes. I think it's Andes Mountains. Andes, yeah, Andes.
Yep.
Information obtained by, or it obviously blurred out the names, unable to be verified because of something disappearance.
Okay, Spencer, can I just spit a ball, like just
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little idea, right?
spittable.
So I'm obviously, I'm not a historian,
Yep.
I'm not an FBI agent, but I would imagine that perhaps the FBI operates in terms of these investigations, operates probably like open cases in the police, right? So if someone has an idea, you write up a report, you keep it open because there's no sufficient proof to disprove the report, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously like nothing's been done about it, and then they've got to declassify it after 50 years, so then this gets released, right?
Yep.
Which obviously looks weird, but I'd imagine that this is literally just a theory that was put out just to cover all the bases. It's like they do with police theories, they say like, open case, oh, this could have happened, even though all the evidence points towards a far more believable and a far more followed sequence of events that people believe in.
Yeah.
They just, they keep this case open to sort of entertain the possibility or whatever, because the idea that the FBI have just sort of released a report saying factually that Hitler got away and he's all chill in Argentina is pretty fucking nutty. Do you not think?
I agree, but then you're saying that they have an open case. They've got 200 pages of shit talking about Hitler escaping to Argentina. Like, if it was just
Yeah, it's the FBI, man. It's the FBI.
Yeah, but why would they have all this evidence of like people in the FBI talking about it and understanding that in 1945 that it's after World War One, Two has ended, that he has escaped and he is alive. He's shaved off his moustache. He's living there
Where's
free.
the evidence?
It's just all these letters of them talking about it, and then you'd have to read through every single one.
Yeah, but it all seems to sort of be entertaining possibilities.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a possibility, but then why would they spend so much time and effort on it? It's like
It's not that much effort, mate. It's 200. You think about the size of the FBI, writing up 200 pages. Like, it might seem bad if you're trying to write a report for uni, but in terms of the FBI banging out something just to cover the tracks, just in case Adolf Hitler does turn out to be hidden in Argentina,
right.
like it doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem like a ridiculous amount of content.
Okay, but another sort of part of evidence that was for this was there's actually a town in Argentina that speaks German, like in the middle of Argentina.
Yeah, because a lot of the Nazis escaped to Argentina after the war, the ones
Yeah.
that were alive.
No, but that's the whole reason as well. Like, he could have gone with them. Like, what? Why not?
Because you can't just smuggle Hitler because he died.
But where can I see him dead? Like, where's the picture of his body?
You told me he was burned.
No, no, I'm just discussing the theories. Let's say I'm just on
Why you're not going to see Hitler's body? You're going to see Hitler's bones, if anything, mate.
No, exactly. So where are they?
I don't know where Hitler's bones are.
But where can I see evidence of that?
Oh my god. This is literally right. This is just like this bloke in the chat is talking about. It's come back to this whole thing where there's no concrete proof that you can touch or you can see, or you can have tests of, that you've conducted the tests yourself because you have the scientific knowledge to prove that these are authentic artifacts by yourself. Then you can't sufficiently say this is 100% true. It is the same thing for anything.
Yeah, no, of course, but
like, oh, Titanic didn't happen, right? Where's the proof? I haven't seen the Titanic. You can't prove it.
No, yeah, but there is proof of that, isn't there? There's no proof of Hitler's
Like what?
body.
What
The
proof
actual
of Titanic?
ship, like we've
Where is
made
it?
it. We
I haven't seen
designed it. We
I haven't
designed
seen
it.
it.
Yeah, obviously we haven't seen it, but people have, and there's evidence
No,
of people
it's the
seeing
same
it.
thing, man. But it's the same thing. Oh,
Do you think?
yeah.
Okay, well
Like,
then let's go on to the Titanic being fake. Where's
Oh
if...
no, because that's just a tangent, mate. Yeah, literally, like, I haven't seen the ship myself. I haven't seen the designs. Who made the designs? Where is he right now? I haven't seen his dead
Well,
body.
he's obviously
Is he
passed
real?
away because it was over 100
Yeah,
years
but
ago.
where? Prove it. Prove his existence to me, Spencer.
Well, I can't prove his existence,
Do
but
it.
someone out there probably could.
Nah, this is all just
Speculation, do you
Okay,
think?
look. Okay, so Herbie's put something in the chat, right? The bloke that submitted the report was an ex-SS officer, right?
Right?
Right.
Oh, was that the end of the debate?
No, I'm not ending I'm not saying like.
Oh
That's
no,
the
okay.
end.
I thought you were gonna say something on top of that.
No.
Okay. So okay, yeah, whatever. Even if he was um Exodus offer, the whole theory's there anyways. So
Man, have you actually read these letters? Like, literally, right? So, John Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI,
yeah,
it's him and this other bloke corresponding back and forth. But the letters are so just like
small.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Because all it said, right, is he's just like, oh, cheers for the note. In the event you have any additional information which you believe may be of interest to the Bureau, please feel free to furnish it to the special agent in charge of the New York Field Division, the address of which is blah, which is basically saying, I don't care what you're talking about, it's not important, give it to a guy that's in a lower position. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
It just like also like what these hand done letters, I can't read them.
Yeah, it's quite hard reading them. I was trying to
I can't read any of that. Nazi envoy says Hitler's still alive. Well, he would, wouldn't he?
Okay, in one of those documents, yeah, I've obviously found a summary because there's 200 documents. One of the documents mentions, and it's from Los Angeles, and it says that the FBI are well aware that a mysterious submarine made its way to Argentinian coast, dropping off high-level Nazi officials.
Sure, that's believable. Do you know why that's believable?
Because it happened.
They haven't given names to the officials, and I could fully believe that in the event of the ending of World War II, that the remaining Nazis fled with their tails between their legs, got on the closest sub, and fucked off to the other end of the world.
Yeah, agreed. So what?
Like,
Why is
that's
there no?
believable.
Why can't Hitler be on that ship?
Because he was in the bunker, mate.
Where's that proof though? That's
Oh,
like.
don't make me do this.
What do you think, Sass? What do you think, Sass? We'll break up a bit.
Well, I think he's dead. Well, was dead. I don't think he ran
He
away.
was dead. He's
escaped.
alive.
No, shut up.
Oh.
Right, like he was a pretty shitty person, yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know how to explain it, but I just don't believe that at all. It just doesn't make sense.
Who's this Zer guy?
That's Morg. Well, what's he popping?
Fuck's sake.
You guys don't know someone in the bunker either. So it could be alive. It's sort of true though. Hitler did
I'm just
nothing
glad
wrong. Yeah,
Saskia's
good joke.
not backing you up saying, oh yeah, Hitler's snuck off to Argentina.
Who is the her? Like
Morg.
That's what I'm saying.
Sask defo has a thing for Hitler, alright, yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so Saskia's view is basically essentially the same as mine, is that if Hitler died in the bunker, he can't have snuck off, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because I don't know how to explain my view, to be fair, but yeah.
I mean, I don't think you have to. I'm not gonna lie. It seems fairly black and white. I feel like Spencer's just playing devil's advocate. I know it's fun though because it's
No, of course, yeah. I'm just, but I think because you got to have to both sides to have a debate, innit?
Yeah.
There's also just one more thing to put on that is that the naval, how do you even pronounce that? Attaché in Buenos Aires, which is obviously the capital of Argentina, right? Informed Washington that it was a high probability that Hitler had just arrived in Argentina. This coincides with the sightings of the submarine U-530. Added proof comes in the form of newspaper articles detailing the construction of a certain mansion which is in the foothills of Andes Mountains, which is a supposed place that he lived in for the rest.
Right, so he's not anymore lying low in a town. He's now got a mansion.
Yeah, but in the
I thought he went
mountains. He's
to-
in the mountains. Like, who's gonna go to the mountains? You
Who's
know?
knocked up a mansion in the mountains to sell
Okay,
it to
and then
Hitler?
further proof comes in form of the architect Alejandro Bustillo, who wrote about his design and construction of Hitler's new home, which was financed by earlier wealthy German immigrants.
Right. Okay, mate. I have nothing more to say on the topic. Hitler died in the bunker, Spencer.
Really?
I honestly think you're too much of a fanboy to just let it go.
Fantabulous.
Oh, awesome! Thank you for the follow. But I mean, the whole obviously this debate is actually finished with: did Hitler escape to Argentina? The answer is yes.
Look, there's not sufficient evidence to prove that he didn't.
But-
Therefore, the possibility suggests he is.
Okay, so yeah, you
But
could. I
also,
guess
like,
you
we
could.
can rest easy because he can't be alive right now anyway.
Yeah, that's
Right.
which is good. But either way, you could argue both cases. I feel because, like you said, there's no you. We can't prove that he's dead. We can now because of old age. Like it's impossible. But we can't prove that
Unless
he.
they've got some like your old theory where he's been frozen.
Oh, frozen. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's also another theory,
Yeah.
which is mad. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for me, like I actually quite like the idea of him escaping, because
You like the idea of
no,
Hitler
well I don't
escaping?
know, I like the idea. Obviously, he's an absolute
Oh my
imbecile,
God.
but like,
Uh,
Imbecile.
I think the theory sort of is interesting because, especially with all the FBI documents and stuff. Oh, what's popping now?
just
I'm not
you basically
neo-Nazi. I'm
being,
so
you
sorry.
basically saying that you're happy
I
that
am not
Hitler's
happy at
stuck
all.
on. He's
Oh my
escaped
God.
his fate. All right, let's look up. If we look up Hitler frozen,
Yeah. So in my opinion, that's it. That's yeah. So next one. What do you feel like talking about? We got the Ayatollah Pass or the JFK assassination.
we'll
What?
talk
What was the
about
JF
first?
Dyatlov Pass.
Dyatlov Pass
No,
What is that?
Dyatlov. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
and JFK. Obviously, you know JFK president assassinated in his car. Which
Okay.
one do you feel more comfortable talking about, Sass?
Um,
I mean, probably JFK.
what do you mean feel more comfortable talking about?
Well, we're going to be discussing them now. So
Yeah, okay, but I would rather hear the one that I don't know first because I've
Yep.
never actually heard of that.
Finn will take the spotlight then. No worries.
Okay, so this is the intro. So 59 years ago in the Urals, which is like a set of like snowy mountain places in northern Siberia, I think. Yeah, the Ural Mountains, the mountain range that runs from north to south through western Russia. Basically, really cold. And so a team of 9 ascended the Mountain of the Dead, which was called by in the local language. And one of them came down, and basically this is just what happened. Okay, so the group, which was led by a 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, hadn't returned from a hiking trip in the Otorten Mountain in the winter of 1959. Later investigation showed that on February 2nd, the tent the party had stayed in was ripped from the inside, with the inhabitants wandering into the night wearing only the clothes they wore to bed. All of the bodies were discovered weeks later. Some of them were wearing others' clothes soaked in high doses of radiation. Where it gets really bizarre is where some of the bodies had shown only signs of hypothermia, hence the theory on why they were naked, whilst others found deeper in the woods showed signs of massive internal trauma, such as bleeding, fractures, or broken skulls. One member of the group, Lyudmila Dubinina, was missing her tongue. The Russians did not know what to do with this and shut the investigation after finding no reason to suspect foul play. The final report said that the group was killed by an unknown compelling force. So the Russians didn't declassify the documents until the 1990s, which then fueled conspiracy theories ranging from stuff like nuclear tests to the presence of aliens and Yetis.
What?
Well, what's it like?
I think Yeti's believable. I quite like the idea of Yeti.
Yetis.
Yeah, especially the one at Mons University, bro.
That's actually an animated film.
No, but the idea of a Yeti sort of makes sense. It's like a bear, right? But obviously just
Not
No, it's
really.
Bigfoot, but snowy.
yeah. So it's a bear, but just be able to walk on 2 legs.
No, it's not a bear.
Like a no, I'm imagining a polar bear, right?
No.
And
Why
like
does it
a
have to be a bear?
because
It's
that's
his own thing,
because if it's
mate.
like a
just
fake if it's like a fake creature, I'm trying to describe it the best way with what I know.
I think everyone
Yeah,
knows
but
what a Yeti would look like.
Yeah, it's like a fluffy like bear on 2 legs,
Fluffy.
like proper fluffy to keep it warm.
Right.
Anyways, carry on.
So the idea was there was like a uni. They were all uni students, right? They were going on some sort of expedition for research purposes, and the mountain that they were found near was called Death Mountain, right, in the local language.
Death Mountain, right?
But so the unexplained injuries is the weirdest thing. So one of them had fractures that were comparable to those that were caused in a car crash. Like
Right.
they've been subjected to a really high level of like physical pressure. And one of the bodies showed external injuries. So she was missing her tongue and missing her eyes, as well as part of her lips, her face, and fragment of her skull bone.
What?
The skin on her hands was macerated as well.
What does that
But
mean?
then the
Sorry.
other,
What's macerated? I just cut off.
I don't know, just scratched, I think.
That's vile, mate. Carry on.
But the other bodies that were found like right next to her were not injured externally at all.
Right. So
So
one person is just randomly being targeted.
oh, by external injuries, yeah. But so the official facts are that the 6 group members, their cause of death
Yep.
were, so 6 of them died from hypothermia,
Yep.
and then the other 3 had fatal injuries.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like blunt trauma, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just pressure, internal bleeding, etc. At the time of the incident, there were no other people around the mountains other than the Dyatlov group. All expedition members died between 6 and 8 hours of eating their last meal, and
Okay.
3 separate articles of clothing were found on 2 of the bodies were radioactive.
Why only 2 though? That doesn't make sense.
I
So,
don't know.
but being radiated, you mean just in contact with radiation, like high level radiation?
Yeah.
But you're there in the mountains,
It's
correct?
just like it's just like the clothes were radioactive.
Right. That's weird.
Yeah.
But how does a theory of like a creature like a yeti come into cause radiation? Because if you're saying
Well,
that's a
that's.
fact, then how the hell does
I'm
that?
not saying it's a fact.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no, no,
saying
no.
that.
That the things you just read about the
Oh
bodies,
right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
they were
No, so
facts,
they
right?
were radioactive. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they're legitly like found radioactive.
The clothes were, yeah, of some of them, not all of them.
What are the theories for that then? Because I'm
Yeti crushed them.
right.
Yeti was innately radioactive. That radioactivity was passed on to the clothes.
Innately radioactive. How? Where's it been?
Innately, just as its thing, like it's just radioactive.
No way. Nah. But so isn't there also a theory that obviously since it's in the mountains, that's where the Russians test a lot of their sort of military equipment, right?
Sure.
So, because I was reading a bit about it, is they were testing their bombs with they had like obviously this is back in the day, right? 60, 70 years ago. They were testing with bombs with parachutes. So they'd obviously attach a parachute to a bomb so it'd glide down slower and then blow up.
Okay.
Could those bombs contain sort of some sort of radiation,
Well, it depends if they were
nuclear or not?
atomic bombs or hydrogen bombs or nuclear bombs. Yeah.
Right. What do you think about
But
that,
then that
Sas?
would be, but that one applies surely because that'd be a radiation that would be evident just in the area rather than
Just 2 people.
on the clothes. Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. Like, how does one person get targeted physically and then 2 people randomly have radiation on their clothes?
She especially pissed off the Yeti.
Didn't she also lose her tongue as well?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
vile,
he
bro.
she was chatting too much. He went for the tongue, and then the others just got like radiate. He passed the radiation onto them. Just maybe he was just like trying to fuck with the Russians.
Apparently, people saying the Yeti went to the moon. Yeah, not happening.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I
I've
quite,
heard that. I've heard that.
Sas, what do you think about
Well, I don't know. That's a really confusing thing to me. I don't understand. Like what you said, how one person's just physically injured, but
Mm.
I don't get it.
And also, none of the bodies showed signs of a struggle like around them where they were found.
that? What do you mean by signs
They
of
were like
struggle?
they were buried in the snow, like quite deep. even though they were fat. So like, and there were no signs of them fighting back.
So they were dead, and then snow was on top of them.
Yeah.
So could that not be explained by an avalanche happening
Yeah,
afterwards?
I
I'm
was gonna
guessing
say
because it's in
that.
Yeah.
like snowy mountains, right?
Yeah. The avalanches usually rip your tongue out though.
No, so that's no, that's I'm just saying they got covered by the avalanche afterwards. So something's happened, and the avalanche just covered their bodies.
Well, yeah, but that's not really a problem, is it?
Well,
Was
how do they
if the
find the
avalanche
bodies
came in,
then?
because they found well, they obviously searched the area like where the camp was.
If they're buried in the snow, there's so much snow everywhere. Where are they gonna look? I'm imagining like a
Everywhere.
massive mountain just full of snow. Like, how do they know? They've spent like days just looking for these
It
bodies.
was near the where they camped, where
Okay.
where the other bodies were.
Okay.
But then the area showed no signs of an avalanche ever having taken place. And the bodies that were found within 10 days of the event were covered only with a very shallow layer of snow, apparently.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so with you said there's another theory, aliens or something. I guess that's just sort of a theory that people throw in there because why not? Like, there's no evidence for or against, right? Well, there is evidence for, but there's no evidence to like actually prove it and properly disprove it as well.
Okay. Okay. This is a theory. One of them is one of the most interesting theories revolves around a sacred cave of the local Mansi tribe, which
What?
they use for ritual sacrifice. The tribe apparently does not like to share the mountain with outsiders, and when the Dyatlov group allegedly robbed the sacrificial cave of its various items, they hunted them down in the night and killed them.
Jeez. I definitely don't want to mess with them.
Right.
And those people were radioactive.
Okay.
So what? Even why would they try radioactive? What? How do they? People become radioactive because they've come in contact with radiation, right?
Yep.
So where's the radiation in these mountains come from? Aliens? A bomb?
The bombs.
The bombs. Okay.
Russian
See,
tests to
that
develop a Yeti.
that theory makes more sense because it's believable that Russians obviously tested bombs in mountains. No one lives there, or supposedly lives there.
Well, they did because the tribe lived there.
Yeah, but like tribes are like low key not on their radar. Like because tribes just live in.
Well, they
just-
were.
Was you saying the Russians tried to kill the tribes?
I didn't say that.
If they knew they were there, then they're throwing bombs at them.
Well, it might have been before or after.
Okay. So either
Or maybe
way,
it's just
so either
nearby.
way, the land is radiated,
Because obviously radiation like spreads, right?
and it stays within the ground, right? Like near Hiroshima, the Japan one,
Japan.
Japan one.
Yeah, Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Yeah.
Yep. There's obviously people had radiation after 60 years after, right? There's still
Sure.
radiation found within the ground, within the atmosphere of that
And
area.
perhaps another good example is Chernobyl. Yeah.
Yeah, Chernobyl.
Yeah. The way
so
the half-life of
so
the
that
radioactive-
explains the radiation, but what it doesn't explain is
It does not explain the radiation.
well, I
Because it is explicitly said that only 2 pieces of clothing were radioactive.
but there was 9 people in total, right?
Yeah.
So 6 of them, didn't I read 6 of them died of hypothermia, right?
Yeah.
So only 3 of them got attacked physically.
Yep.
So obviously my thinking is 6 people die, right? The other 3 are still alive, and then them 3 have obviously gone off.
No, but why? But why would the ones who? Why would they leave?
Because they're dead. Like they
Also,
can't.
like, but why rip? Why did they rip the tent? Just leave the tent. Surely
Because they
ripping the
get some
tent.
get clothing because it's freezing, mate.
No, no, no. They ripped the tent to leave.
Oh, maybe they got attacked then at the tent.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Like the Yeti attacked the tent.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But so those 6 people, they've woken up, I'm guessing, they're dead. There's a Yeti outside, rips the tent. That girl is like rips her tongue out, she's dead. And the other 2 like dip and get attacked by the tribe, which are covered in radiation. But only
Wait,
their
Spencer,
clothes.
did you say that they were camping near where like Russians did like tests or something?
Yeah.
What
Were
if?
Well, they do tests in the mountains.
We don't
Okay,
have
well
proof
let's
of
say
this.
Yeah. No. I found an article, but also we're going to have to go into one more commercial break. Got to swap the
Right,
themes again.
oh.
Also, before we go, I just want to say, guys, Herbie, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm doing the same that Spencer did for the Hitler theory. Like, we're back
We're
in.
back in. We're back.
We're back in. Right. Okay. Straight back to it. So I've got some more information. So, dispelling the theory of an attack by the indigenous Mansi people who had the sacrificial cave, right? Apparently, the fatal injuries of the 3 bodies, right? So the ones that had sort of blunt force trauma, etc. Those injuries could not be been caused by another human being, because the force of the blows had been too strong and no soft tissue had been damaged, right? So if you're like squeezing someone or punching someone, soft tissue damage happens, right, as well as the injury,
Right.
the internal injuries.
Yep.
But here, none of that. So this Yeti's got like really soft hands, but also crushes them.
So by soft hands, you mean smooth as well? Like I'm imagining like pads. You know, like obviously cats and dogs have pads on their hands.
I was thinking the same thing, like kind of leathery. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously when they're like using them, it's like nice on their feet and nice on their hands. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, like insulation from the cold as well. It adds up. It's all starting to come together, Spencer.
I sort of like this because I like these sort of mystery ones because obviously there's no. Oh, with Sass's one as well. There's no like actual explanation. You know, these are just like sort of mysterious sort of stories that haven't been properly explained or found out. So we have to sort of decide the theories for ourselves.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let's hear about this, right? So another group of hikers about 31 miles south of the incident reported that on the night of the incident they saw strange orange spheres in the sky.
Oh, the classic aliens come back. See that? I feel like with aliens, you can just chuck them anywhere. Like something mysterious happened. Oh, aliens. Like it's just like sort of like a resort that people go to. Yeah, because
For sure.
it's just a theory out there. There's thousands and thousands of stories about aliens.
But I'm still weirded out. Like that only one of the victims, one of the 9 victims, that died, and one of the 3 victims that had external wound, like external damage or internal, like actual damage to them, right? So
Yeah.
she died by the actual injuries, not the hypothermia. She was the only one of the group who had clothes that were radioactive.
That's just so weird to me.
So what was she doing? Unless, right? Oh, okay.
You got it.
So maybe she was like developing some kind of portable
Mutation.
nuclear device
Oh, yeah.
and was looking to eradicate the what are they called?
The Yetis.
No, not the Yetis. The indigenous Mansi people.
Oh, the tribe people. Yeah.
Mm.
So you think she was building something to kill them?
Yeah, for sure. And then she had the radiation on her clothes. And then, obviously, when the Yeti comes about and he sees that they're looking to blow up some of his turf, he's going to not take too kindly to that. So that's why he took her eyes and her tongue.
Yeah, I mean, also with Yetis, we don't know how they act. They're just like we just view them as savages.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
might go. They might eat the tongue, eat the eyes. Like
Exactly. Like, although I don't know how he would get the eyes out like that.
he's got. I'm imagining if you're a Yeti, he can't cut his nails. He's got long nails. Stick them in with that noise as well. He's just gone. Sass, what are your final thoughts on this?
Well, I don't know. It's confusing me. I don't understand. Like, why? I just don't get it. I don't think it's a Yeti though. That doesn't. No.
Because
I'm not gonna lie, Saskia. All evidence points one way, and that way is a rather large and pissed off Yeti.
yeah, because think about it, right? Okay, let's say the Yeti's out of the picture. The tribe could do this because
No, they couldn't. We talked about this.
I don't get this
The
tribe
damage.
thing.
yeah, could a person not do that damage to another person?
No. That's they literally said the people who investigated the bodies said it wasn't possible. The damage to them was too great. Yeah,
What?
there was no surface level like. So what was it? There was
No surface level trauma.
Yeah.
But there's also the explanation about the wind, right? it being very strong winds within the mountains,
Sure.
high force winds that could have caused that trauma, like them getting like smashed against the rocks.
No, because then there's surface level trauma.
Oh
If you get
yeah, yeah,
smashed
no, I
against a
get you. Yeah,
rock,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
also how is a rock? Yet again, how is a rock removing your eyes and your tongue?
I think yeah, well that's where the tribe comes in. The tribe could be like,
Oh, okay. No.
no, that
This is
makes
starting to
sense
make
because
sense, right? So she develops the bomb,
yeah,
the radioactive bomb.
yep,
So that explains the radioactivity. That's a tick.
yep,
The Mansi tribe, like they get an idea of what's going on,
yeah,
so they stalk them.
yep,
Nighttime comes.
yep,
They go to the tent. People in the tent wake up. Hence why they slashed open the tent and escaped.
yeah, of
Right?
course, yeah,
They didn't have time to put on any other clothes, so that
yep.
explains the lack of clothes.
So hypothermia,
6 of them died on the way because of hypothermia because it was too cold.
yep,
The other of them, which were lucky enough to wear socks to bed, made it the rest of the way.
yeah,
Died by
Right.
whatever means, and then the tribe come in, and then they see that woman that was developing the bomb, and they pluck her eyes and her tongue, just for like
that
kind of
that
like a
sort of seems
middle
plausible
finger.
because like tribe people we obviously had like
Rituals.
yeah
They
rituals
needed
like
something
tongues,
for like
eyes,
some sort of,
yeah, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I like that because it also makes sense that she's doing a bomb in the middle of nowhere, so it affects no one.
Okay, wait, hang on. Okay. What if, right? So the tribe thing, yeah, that's a possibility, I guess. It could be like a little weird little cult thing.
Yeah,
The thing about them people escaping, yeah, fair enough. The Yeti thing still doesn't add up though. What if it's just a polar bear and it just stands on her? And the tribe people cut out her tongue and her eyes, whatever. And the polar
No.
bear, because a polar bear has pads as well, so it doesn't make any
No,
sense.
there's no polar
Sass, we
bears in
talked
Russia,
about
is
this.
there?
It has to be a very soft-handed
Yeah, and
polar
polar
bear.
bears have soft hands,
Or
don't
have you
they?
touched one?
No, but
No, but they have pads. They're like cats, right? They have like pads on them.
You know,
I
of course they
don't
do
This
because
is stressing me
it's.
out. I don't understand.
I thought Russia didn't have polar bears, you know.
No, Russians don't have polar bears. They only saw a
Okay,
massive
right.
invasion of
Okay, well,
polar
why
bears in
can't it
February
be?
2019.
Okay, wait.
Oh
I don't know how
yeah.
to word this, but how? When did people wait? Who found the bodies again? Like,
Russian
authorities.
officials, right?
okay,
Yeah.
so how long after the incident happened did they find the bodies?
I think they said 9 days or 10 days.
Okay, so a lot could have happened in 9 days. Do you know what I mean?
Like the tribes coming in and out of pure anger taking the woman's eyes.
Okay, yes, okay, right. But the Yeti thing still doesn't add up. But why can't it just be like another animal or something?
Well,
Because
what
it
animals
has to
can live
be.
in
It
such
has
harsh
to.
conditions?
So
Oh,
okay, Sass the issue, right?
Arctic foxes.
What, it's gonna go?
You're saying a fox has done this.
Yeah.
No, but it doesn't add up to me, right?
Okay, the injuries. Gabby says she wants detail of the injuries. I've got it somewhere here. Okay, yeah. So the woman who was developing the radioactive bomb to kill the natives,
Yeah.
she's missing her eyes, her tongue, part of her lips, part of her face, a fragment of skull bone. The skin on her hands was macerated.
What does that mean again?
Apparently,
Like,
Someone in chat said it
says
was
it's to do with liquid,
it's all right. So when it's like, so it's disintegrated by water, like it's too
which makes sense. Like snow melts around or whatever.
Yeah. or whatever. If they were there for 10 days, that I guess that makes sense somewhat. But okay, wait, what was the bit? Okay, so one of the other ones who died, so not the bomb maker, had major skull damage, and the other 2, including the bomb maker, had major chest fractures. Like the force of a car, the force that would cause that would be comparable to the force of a car crash, not something that a human could inflict, and not something that a polar bear can inflict because they're not about. Therefore, a yeti.
I just don't
Agreed.
And the bodies had no external wounds associated with the bone fractures. So like
What
high
does that
pressure.
mean?
So like it's just pressure, like like it would have been pure like squashing them, right?
Oh, right.
So that's how the chest fracture happened.
But
Therefore, Yeti picks up the bomb woman, pissed as fuck, squashes her,
Ooh.
and then, like Spencer says, his untrimmed fingernails into the eyes. They
right,
do the pop, and then
right.
takes the tongue.
Wait, I thought the tribe people took the tongue and the eyes.
Either or.
Okay, right. Well, okay. Okay.
Yeah, see, look,
They
everyone's
can't.
agreeing.
They can't have been crushed by the snow because the snow was apparently very shallow when they found them. So
I quite like that
understand.
story. I think we made
yeah,
it
I
sound
think
all like it was. We
honestly, I
definitely
think we've
we
covered
Covered.
up.
solved it.
Yeah, we've covered up
Right.
most of the issues here.
I'm
The
gonna write. I'm gonna write a
radioactivity,
letter to Putin.
the radioactivity's ticked. The lack of clothes is ticked. The rip in the tent is ticked. The injuries, we've covered it. Frankly,
Yeah, I think the only thing not ticked is my good haircut, right? Still got that unticked. But yeah, no, I quite like that story. I think I was I quite liked how we had to talk through the stages of how
yeah.
they all died. I think we actually got a nice sort of ending to
I
that one.
think, in fact, that might make more sense than all of the other ones.
I think we should just write our own blog on that.
Wait, why
Yeah.
was someone making a bomb again? Because
The radioactivity.
to
It's
kill
the
the.
only
Oh,
explanation.
right.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
because obviously it's safer to do it when there's no one around, like in the mountains. Like,
Like, you could think of a backstory, like, maybe her parents were attacked by the tribesmen many years ago, and she still held a personal vendetta, hence why she went on to develop a bomb.
yeah,
Right?
Right.
awesome.
Okay.
Anything else to
So
add to that?
no, we've
I've
completed
done that.
that. We've completed that story.
I like that. Should we move on to the
Easy.
last one?
Yep. Next, let's complete the next one. JFK. We'll sort it out.
JFK. I'll read this out. Sass, you obviously know JFK. He was your president back in the day.
Yep.
Yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's American, so you obviously weren't alive for him. But so I've got some
Right.
stats here as well. I think this is quite cool. So obviously, President John F. Kennedy. He was assassinated 1963 before the moon landing, unfortunately. November 22nd. He was shot twice, one in the head, one in the neck, and he was driving in his limo in Dallas in the Dealey Plaza.
Delhi.
Nah, is that no Delhi's D-A-L-I?
What? Dali?
Dealey, Dealey. Oh yeah,
What are you
Dealey,
trying?
Delhi. Anyways, Lee Harvey Oswald was
Oh my
charged with
God.
killing him.
Yeah.
And a presidential commission headed by Chief Justice Earl Warren found that Oswald acted alone.
Did he though?
Yeah, so that conclusion hadn't passed muster with the public, which I'm guessing means it didn't go under the rug. A 2003 ABC News poll, whether this is legit or not, found that 70% of Americans believed that Kennedy's death was a result of a more broader plot. Wow.
Now, how broad are we talking? I mean, do we include the Yetis or the aliens in this plot? Like, is
I
that
think that's a bit too broad for this one. I think
All right.
because it's obviously loads of people around. It's not. It's obviously in the street. Everyone's
Okay,
around.
no.
No
So
Yeti can come out of nowhere.
mainland USA. So perhaps more plausible is Bigfoot.
Bigfoot is plausible here.
Perhaps.
So obviously, I got some here. The trajectory of the bullets, some say, didn't square with Oswald's perch on the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. So others suggest a second gunman, perhaps on the grassy knoll of Delhi Plaza, participated in the shooting. So that makes sense, right? And then others believe in an even broader conspiracy. Was Kennedy killed by a CIA agent acting either out of anger over the Bay of Pigs or on behalf of the vice president? Ooh. We
Okay.
also got two more things. So by mobsters, so like gang members, could they have shot mobsters mad at Kennedy's brother for initiating the prosecution of the organized crime rings. They've got a motive.
Sure. Are we gonna?
So
Where's the next one? Where's the one with Bigfoot?
yeah, sorry, Bigfoot's at the bottom there. Just says Bigfoot. Yep.
Oh.
Just says
says-
Bigfoot
right.
question mark.
Okay.
Personally, I don't think he was shot by that guy. I don't think my man Earl did it. No, not Earl. Lee, sorry.
How easily was he arrested?
How easily?
Like,
Well,
how easily was he like convicted?
How quickly?
I'm guessing pretty much straight away.
Well, I don't want to
Straight
guess,
away?
Spencer.
I can find out for us.
Please do.
How did no one see?
Yeah. So the interesting thing about this assassination was obviously it was in public eye, so um everyone was round, right? So it was like one of them sort of parades where the president's going through the town, right? So you have
Sure.
crowds and crowds of people,
Mm.
um, and he's in the car, and boom, dead. Like,
Yeah.
so obviously for this sort of theory, there's evidence because there's thousands and thousands of people around, right?
Sure.
This isn't something that we can speculate saying, oh, did he die of something else? No, he 100% got shot.
No, but
The way of
Spencer,
death,
Spencer,
the way of
Spencer,
death
have you
is
seen the body?
that is true. I have not seen the body. I have not seen pictures of the body. I've seen a video of the body.
Right. Well,
I don't think I can put it on stream because it's showing death,
but how
but
do you know that? How do you not? How do
because
you know
that
that videos? Wait, I want to find the video now.
it's on. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube, isn't it?
I doubt it.
Well, like they obviously just blur it out.
Do you
This
think?
is a crime that's been investigated.
Yeah. So his brother, Robert F. Kennedy, is that his brother or is his uncle? No, sorry, not his uncle. If you're an uncle, so his nephew, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. does also supports the theory that Lee Oswald was not the only one involved, which is mad, considering he's obviously part of the family. And he also thinks that falsely convicted. My father thought that someone else was, but the evidence at this point I think is very very concerning that it was not a lone gunman.
Oh, he's definitely dead, Spencer. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
He slumps pretty hard,
Okay, so he is
and
100%
not a single Bigfoot in sight either, unless he's the bloke pulling the trigger. Mind, could be possible.
Must chili chap. Yeah, he's not unfortunately in the freezer. He has been destroyed.
Oh, really?
That's what you've used in this sort of this one.
I don't know. There's many possibilities. I swear there was a theory about like
Is
an
there?
umbrella man, like a man having an umbrella when it wasn't even raining, and people like speculated that he was the one that shot him. Or was that not a thing?
That
I
might
swear
be
I
the
read
thing.
that.
Umbrella
I
Man.
swear I read that somewhere. I don't know if I did though. I don't know if I just dreamt that.
Yeah,
don't know.
It's a legit thing. So we've got here the Umbrella Man. So he was actually also interrogated. Oh, thank you for the follow. He was also interrogated. Because his name is here, Louis Stephen Witt.
Wait.
And he, like you said, it was not snowing or raining, sorry, or snowing at all. And he was actually there. So I get no, but the argument is obviously, sometimes people have umbrellas and stuff to protect them from the sun's heat, because they don't want to pass out, etc., or like get sunburn, sun rash.
Yeah, bit
So you could argue that he has an umbrella for that reason.
Right.
Because obviously, as well as like a lot back in the day, females always used to have the little umbrellas to protect them from the sun.
Yeah, but I swear.
Yeah, just
I swear
females.
it was like a. I swear it was a big black umbrella. Or am I just making that up?
Well, yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. Are you making up? Have you
No,
got evidence?
no. I've got evidence here. I see a picture of it. I see a picture of him.
You see a picture of
The
him.
picture could be photoshopped.
True, but I think we can rule them out because of the fact that people like I said, people put umbrellas out just to protect them from the sun. Same reason you have umbrellas at tables when you sit down eating food. You don't want the sun.
I swear it wasn't that hot though.
It says a sunny day.
Were you there, Saskia?
No,
but like, what was the temperature then?
I don't know. All right.
Big black.
It's stressing me out.
Big black umbrella.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, look, imagine not liking the sun, and so you bring an umbrella and you get blamed for killing the president. Exactly. So I think like it's a bit too far-fetched.
Okay, but so.
I don't know if it's far-fetched. I feel like we've entertained a few rogue possibilities today, so maybe it's, maybe you can cut a bit of slack.
Yeah, but then you'd argue the bullet trail was completely different. Like the trajectory of the bullet was completely different from where that guy's standing to where he actually got shot from. So I feel like he's ruled out the picture. It's just like if someone's just thrown it in.
Well, surely this person must have been. Wait, how fast was John F. Kennedy like traveling his little car?
Probably like really slow. Like I'd reckon like 5 miles an hour.
10 or 15.
15.
It looks like 10 or 15. Probably like 10 maybe.
Were you there? Did you measure the speed?
Yeah, I checked it. I just watched the video and I literally just like did a quick speed check on it.
Yeah, no worries. All right, 15 we'll go with.
Okay.
15, no, 15 was a bit much. I think
Do
10.
they know what
Okay.
gun he was shot with, like from the bullets?
Yeah, it was a Car
They would've
98, 5 bullets in the chamber.
Was it?
No, I have no. I'm checking now.
Shut up.
But obviously, it was from since it was so far away. It was obviously some sort of sniper or
That's what I was
assault
gonna say,
rifle.
sniper.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So from the pictures I see, yeah, it looks like it was at 12:30. So yeah, it's quite warm out as well. 12:30 p.m. So during the day.
What date was it?
November 22nd though, before all
Yeah,
this climate
exactly.
change actually. So it was
But
quite
where
cold.
and exactly, okay. And
And in
which
Dallas
state?
as well. That's gonna be cold.
What, really?
Yeah. Dallas,
Dallas
Texas.
is hot, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
but that's
hot.
literally south.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold during the winter, bro. The deserts get freezing during winter.
It's not a desert.
Yeah,
What's
but
wrong
like
with
Texas
you?
is deserts. Well, it's got deserts in it. As
It's
in,
not
it's
all
got
desert,
deserts
though.
in it.
Yeah, but it's not all made up of desert. Like they weren't in a desert. Like I don't.
It was
Yeah,
in
no, my
Dallas.
point is, it's gonna be cold there. It's November, nearly December.
It's not gonna be that cold.
All right. Dallas, November.
Average temperature
Yeah.
in the winter.
It is 19 degrees.
That's not that
Average.
cold at all. I was actually sunbathing out the other day.
Jeez, how?
Or 19 to 8 degrees. So that is pretty like that's pretty quite nice temperature.
Okay. So the umbrella theory is still legit, where he's got it up just to protect him from the sun.
Yeah, all right, but it's not far fetched because it's just not far fetched.
Yeah,
It's also with the low average of 8 degrees, possibly could entertain a big woolly creature being about. Given
Sorry,
that,
what?
you know, it may be like that sort of low temperature, like 8 degrees, you could possibly entertain the idea of a creature
A
such
big what
as
creature?
like a woolly creature.
Okay,
like a
Woolly.
okay.
yeti or
I thought I heard something else. I was like, okay, where are we going with this? I've lost the plot here.
Classic Spencer, dude. He
No,
fingers
someone
it.
in the chat
Oh.
literally just agreed with me. Yeti is hung. Exactly. Big.
All right. Well,
No.
I mean,
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah. It's cool to cold.
Right, so a Yeti is going to be among like thousands of people. How did no one see it? Do you know what I mean? Yetis would
He wasn't,
walk
though.
quite loudly
They
as
didn't, how?
well.
Well, they didn't see the shooter, did they, Saskia?
Yeah, but wait, where was the shooter allegedly
It
positioned?
said not only were the bullets never
Dunno.
recovered, he writes, but the movements of Kennedy's head are only consistent with a shot from the back. He got
What do you
shot.
mean?
I always thought he got shot in the front, right?
No.
No.
So it is from the
It
back.
says he got shot. He says he got shot in the back and it came out his throat.
Oh,
first one that hit him.
bro.
The first one that hit him, and then the next one hit him somewhere
This
else.
was obviously televised as well, wasn't it? Because when they didn't present.
Yeah. I just saw the video. I
Yeah,
just told
that's
you.
mad. Could you imagine that? Like nowadays?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah.
Imagine just being so happy and then just getting killed.
Yeah, because I was thinking, imagine the wife, because he just
Do you reckon he was happy?
slumps on the wife.
No,
Yeah,
she dips like rapidly.
Well, she's jumped
She
out the
sees
car.
him slump. She flings herself over the back of the car to like try and get out. Like she's literally trying to get out.
Yeah, that's like a flight or fight, isn't it? Sort of response. Flight, like you had a shot, get down, you know.
Yeah, but her
Sure.
husband's just been shot.
Yeah, have you noticed how they don't do that anymore? Like any open sort of. I haven't
Yeah, probably
seen
because of that.
open limousine sort of what do you call them? Parades.
What do you mean?
Parade with a presidential parade. They're always in like a limo.
Well, they definitely do.
Yeah, they're all bulletproof windows, all bulletproof car.
Nah, because they still do stuff where he's standing outside on a stage in the middle
No,
of.
no,
like,
obviously,
the
but when they
open.
transport him in the car now, it's all inside in a
Why
Yeah.
does it
limo.
matter?
Well, because like from then on, it's all been inside. Like they don't do open cars, do they?
They don't do it. All,
No.
they do it outside as well. They do talks outside.
No, of course they do talks, but like
Yeah, but they're
transportation
not, like-
wise, they limit the
Why would it
time that he's
matter?
showing. Because I think
What does it
when,
matter if he's
because when you
transporting? Wait, why is
because
this
when you're
relevant?
transporting, let's say for a city, there's so many points in the city where someone can be sat with a sniper. Whereas if they're at a stage, they can clear out all the buildings and windows where he's going to be stood. So it's more safe.
Yeah,
to
but
be
I
open.
swear forensics can like see how how far away the shooter was in terms of like the bullet projection thing. I swear. Or is that just not real? that not a real thing?
Wait, what?
Detect how far the bullet was.
Yeah, how far the shooter was from the car, from the bullets going through the neck. Can they not detect that? I swear they can.
Yeah, I believe they
No
can.
idea.
Yeah, no.
Exactly. So does it not
But
say?
not back in the day, not in 1963. I feel like that's a bit too far advanced.
All right. So okay. Right.
So, what are your sort of conclusions on this one, Sass?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
So in my opinion, there's two theories. You could either, or three, sorry, there's three. You could either believe that this is legit, like the government are being serious about this, like he died by this guy called Lee, he was the killer. You could either believe there was a second shooter, and further on from that, you can believe that that second shooter wasn't involved either with the CIA, or involved with the sort of gang members because of the deals that John F. Kennedy struck. What are your thoughts on that? That's
Who's talking to me?
Yep.
Oh. Well, I don't know. Do I?
no. I'm saying,
Okay.
what's your conclusion? Like, what do you think in your head?
Oh right. Well, I genuinely don't know because there's not much like. I don't know.
Yeah, but you must have a formulated opinion. You can't just say like I don't know. You must
Because
believe.
I don't.
You must believe like, did he get shot by Lee, or was there a second
Who's
shooter?
Lee again? The one.
main
the one
guy,
that got
Harvey
like-
shot?
Oswald.
Right.
Yeah.
I think. Well, surely it was a formulated plan because someone doesn't just wake up that day and decide, oh, I'm going to shoot the president. You know what I mean? Like, it had to have been thought out and planned precisely. I don't think it was Lee. Or if it was him, maybe he was like what was that thing again? Mobsters?
Yeah. So
Maybe it was like that. Like a group of them planned it. Or maybe, I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know. There's so many different possibilities that it could be.
yeah. Lee Oswald is the guy. Harvey Oswald was the guy who was
I
charged.
got some interesting info actually. So, less than an hour after Kennedy was shot, allegedly by Lee Harvey Oswald,
Yeah.
from the 6th floor of the Texas library thing that the parade was going past, Oswald killed a policeman who questioned him on the street near his rooming house in Dallas. Then 30 minutes after that, he was arrested in a movie theater by police responding to reports of a suspect. So I don't know about you boys and girls, but personally, if I was going to go about killing policemen, I'm not sure I'd catch the next showing of Avengers at the local cinema.
Yeah. Hold on. So he's bought a ticket and
Mm.
just walked in.
Yeah.
But he's
So-
trying to hide from the police, I guess. So
Yeah,
like, who was
what if
going
he
to
just-
cinema?
Cinema.
All right, guys. I had a slur. All right, carry on.
Well, yeah, I guess he could just be potentially just acting as if he's a normal citizen going into.
Yeah, that's in
cinema,
my
but-
opinion. That's like some top level incognito mode, bro.
He also got killed
Yeah, but he got caught, so.
whilst he was being
Oh yeah.
brought to the basement of a Dallas police headquarters.
What? Lee.
Yeah.
So he was shot by police.
No. He was shot by a guy that came out of the crowd with a .38 revolver.
Wait, what? So
Yeah. 'cause he
president
wanted
has died,
revenge. Yeah.
and then the same day Lee dies.
No, on the same day. It says.
I was
So
gonna say, I
what's-
thought he got
hold on,
arrested.
No.
and-
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
thought he got arrested.
wait. So November 22nd is when when JFK dies, right?
Yeah.
Now the 24th is when he was being moved between two jail, between a police station and a more secure jail. Some bloke comes out the crowd with a .38 revolver, dinks him in the head.
Wow. Just a
Says
random
that-
bloke, and he obviously got arrested,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, he says that he says that rage at Kennedy's murder was the motive for his action, and then he was charged with first-degree murder. Lee Harvey Oswald is just a bloke who was
Framed in a way.
Yeah, well, not
He was
framed.
not
He was the
framed, but
guy
he
who
was
was
a suspect.
allegedly
Yeah.
shot. He's the guy who allegedly shot for 3 bullets at him, and then later killed a police officer, and then was later arrested for the assassination.
And
Even though there's obviously that whole point where the perspective didn't line up, like with where the bullets would have come from.
yeah, I mean, the last point I want to add on this is.
But
so
yeah,
ob-
it was a Yeti, obviously,
yeah.
or his cousin Bigfoot.
Yeah, the last point I want to add is So John F. Kennedy did the Bay of Pigs invasion, where they invaded Cuba.
Yep.
Uh, and so obviously people who were not happy with that sort of invasion and deal could have easily had an easy motive to be like, this guy started this whole invasion of Cuba. This is like, Cuba's my land. Like,
Sure.
so
You think?
the second. So I'm saying the second shooter could have been of Cuban or what's the word? Origin? Yeah, origin.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just trying to get out like the motives of the people. So like obviously with mobsters and stuff, he made
But
some
then why
deals.
would the so? But then he would surely have to be in cahoots with the government because they obviously then have framed Harvey Lee Oswald.
Well, it's not the fact that they framed him. I thought he just got caught like in a weird spot. Like as in, let's say,
We didn't get caught in a weird spot, Spence. He killed a police officer, asked him a few questions.
okay, so let's have this theory that Lee was actually working with this Cuban guy, but Lee was just there and didn't actually take the shot because he didn't have the best angle. The other guy did, but Lee got caught because he just was an idiot about it and ran away, killed a
Then
police
had to
officer.
take the fall
He took
for
the
it.
fall for it, and the other guy just dipped back to Cuba.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty believable actually. I guess
Because like,
Cuba is literally he's literally talking about Cuba because of the Bay of Pigs. So like earlier, JFK was the one who authorized the whole Bay of Pigs operation.
he was the leader in this whole sort of invasion.
Lee is not from Cuba. He was originally from the Soviet Union, but came over and then became a military agent for the USA.
So in my opinion, this I think JFK. I believe like there's what 70% of people that believe this. Like I don't think Lee was the main suspect. I think is a bigger picture. There's like a broad, like everyone says, like a broader sort of picture to this.
Okay, so hold on. People are asking what the Bay of Pigs were. Basically, it was when the USA tried to have this whole invasion in southwestern Cuba. They sent in Cuban exiles who were against Fidel Castro's um, Cuban revolution within Cuba, because
Yep.
basically the USSR had agreed with Cuba to put nuclear missiles in Cuba so that they could be
Yeah, yeah.
within the USA.
Yep.
And then the USA went to invade Cuba. It failed, and then basically Cuba ended up absolutely hating the US,
Jesus.
and it caused a whole load of shit. Where basically that's the reason why people think JFK there was a conspiracy against him because he authorized that, and it was just this massive error that went wrong.
In my opinion, that makes a lot of sense because that's a motive and a half. Like that's a
Yeah,
legitimate
yeah.
motive. So
Like it's a big historical event. It would make sense that they would want to cover up that, or they would at least want to take out the person who was responsible. So
agreed.
yeah, believable, believable. Just perhaps like 50-50 with the whole Bigfoot theory.
Can we talk about the conspiracy of how Sasuke gave Svenny a dead shrimp?
That's not
That's
a
not
conspiracy.
conspiracy.
That's not conspiracy.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, Spencer. You were like, "Oh, I want it 4. I want it 4." And as soon as I did 4, you were like,
Yeah,
"Oh."
my bad. I'll take half the blame.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
It's still not going back there. I honestly, Sasuke, I think you've done some permanent damage. His hairline's not looking too hot.
Oh, I can't do anything about it now, can I? Like we're in lockdown for another 3 weeks. We're just chilling. Like it's cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I did start off with a nice fade though, and then it just ruined.
Yeah, nice fade back to
I cannot see a fade. Unless you talk about the fading of his hairline.
Yeah,
back to his forehead, going back off his forehead.
Yeah, but, okay,
Balding now. Nah, we're just messing. We're just messing.
yeah,
Yeah, FSM chat for
yeah,
the
yeah.
haters.
I'm messing for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So just finalising on JFK. Any other sort of conclusions to this? Wrap it up.
I know. I like your idea. I feel like we could definitely go into detail, patch up all the holes, all the plot holes, and make some sort of, really shed the light on the whole Bigfoot thing. But I feel like we'd need to take some more time for that. So perhaps not something we could do right now.
Yep, agreed.
Cool. But yeah, I think the other theory is actually pretty decent. That there's multiple shooters in different locations. Whoever took the successful shot, that's cool. They've got the kill, and then everyone else runs away, and then whoever gets caught takes the blame, or maybe he was arranged to take the blame from the start. It seems fairly believable.
Yep. That's.
Hmm?
What's your final thoughts on JFK?
Sorry, I like to zoom out. just about Lee, whatever his name is, and having the, like you said, bigger picture. There's always a bigger picture, and maybe other people were involved and like planned it and stuff.
Agreed. I think overall, bigger
Yeah.
picture,
Yes.
It's always
more than
about the
one
big
person
picture.
involved. It is always about the bigger picture.
And I think there was definitely some foul play by government officials, CIA perhaps.
Yeah, there's always foul play. Let's be honest. We never know
It would
everything.
take that kind of security or level of clearance or that to sort of authorize. Hold up, give me a sec.
No worries. But yeah. So obviously, no, we're not gonna do 9/11 because we've done it for two. We've been going for 2 hours now.
Have we actually?
Yeah. So we're gonna slowly wrap it up. 9/11. The reason I don't want to talk about 9/11 is because it's so sort of over talked in a way. I feel
Yeah.
like
It's dragged
a lot
out.
of people have talked about it. You could argue the same with JFK, but I feel like in overall sort of conspiracy theories, the first thing that comes to mind is 9/11.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any final points on this episode?
I feel like we've covered most of it.
No worries. Any final points, us, on any of the conspiracies?
Nope.
Awesome. Have you enjoyed your time on the
Yeah, I have actually.
behind closed doors?
Cheers,
See you
Saskia.
later.
Cheers, Spencer.